Today we're talking about why the INFJ escapes reality as often as we possibly can, and we love it so much. So before we even talk about why this is such a big aspect of our personality, why we are drawn to this over and over again, we also have to understand the price that we're paying. Because once we understand the real price for it, we can really make the right kind of room for this aspect. We can allow ourselves to dream as often and as amazingly as possible, because the truth is, there's nothing as good as the things that are happening when we have that free time, that space that is empty of other people, that is empty of others' demands, of others' pain, and is full of all the emotions and all of the possibilities that we can create. The thing though is that this entire combination can really burn out. It can really lead us to a place where we have no fire to put into it, where we're not inspired, where we don't have enough energy, and where there's such a cognitive dissonance between our dream world and reality that it just leads us to depression. So let's talk about how to find the perfect balance of having as much time in our mind as humanly possible and still, and actually because of that, continuously create a life that allows us to blossom not only internally, but anchored in the real world as well. Before we get started, our last reminder, Bootcamp has launched and you can join until tomorrow. So May 11th is our first live call, and I'm really looking forward to meeting so many new INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp members. I'm also looking forward to welcoming back so many INFJs who keep coming back because it's lifetime access. And we're going to work on creating that INFJ Epic Life that we want so deeply, and we're going to create it together in a safe community that is full of joy, laughter, excitement, and stability. So join us through the link in the description. I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible starting tomorrow. The first reason why the INFJ escapes reality whenever possible is because we can create the most beautiful emotions and experiences when we're alone. So that does not mean that we don't have muses. That does not mean that others don't inspire us. That does not mean that we're disconnected from the world. Not at all. But it's actually the moment when we've absorbed all of it, when we've allowed the world and people and experience to be the muse for us, that we can take that time, be by ourselves, and then create our own beauty out of it. We can create our own experience and it will be uniquely us. And that is the moment when we appreciate ourselves the most. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to share it with others. It's in that moment that we feel most alive. And what we INFJs really neglect very often is that we can't experience all of that. We can't experience our emotions. We can't really get to this place of deep inspiration if we're not connected to life. What we have to do though is to find a flow that allows us to be protected and safe and still allow all of this emotion to come into our space, all of those experiences, all of those teaching and techniques, and to create this immensely beautiful and exciting inner world. So don't ever feel like there's something wrong with you creating this world inside your head and with taking the time for yourself. INFJs so often feel guilty about it because it's like, this is not real life. This is not how it's supposed to be. But at the same time, if I choose that and I focus on that and I neglect reality, it never leads me to a happy place. Because before I know it, I run out of steam. I don't feel inspired anymore. I get sad. I get really dull and bored. So it's this constant push of I want to be inspired. I want to be transformed. I want to experience people and I want to experience life. But at the same time, I need that time for myself to create the life and to create this experience that is only possible because it went through my mind. The second reason why the INFJ escapes reality as often as possible is because we don't like our real life. In order to have a balanced life where we feel we're like constantly fueling our inner muse and therefore we can create amazing new thoughts and experiences, we have to have a great balance between those two. And if we don't like our life, if we don't like our reality because we focus too much on the internal, then we don't have anything to get inspired by. And so we continuously stay in our head and think that if we just think about it a little bit more, if we just put a little bit more effort into it, we can create beauty. But it just doesn't match. If our reality is not matching with what we experience, we're always going to feel like something is wrong. For the longest time, I really thought I could just stay in my head. Like I will do the bare minimum in real life to get by and all will be good. But it wasn't good. It led me to unhealthy relationships. It led me to depression. It led me to feeling like I'm not tapping into my potential. And it felt like life was happening outside of me. And so the more life, I mean real life, the thing that you can touch, reality, is removed from what you experience inside, the more on the one hand you're going to be drawn to your internal worlds, but at the same time, you're going to dislike that inner world more and more. So we have to change that entire dynamic between those parts of ourselves. The third reason why we as INFJs escape reality and we do it as often as possible is because we get a real quick rate of return. We have some experience and we get this insight right away. And this insight makes us feel something. It's like this drug. You know, we've talked about us INFJs being drugs for other people, but we're drugs for other people because we're a drug for ourselves. I created a video on this like years ago because this is so evident that other people perceive us as drugs. But it doesn't have to be that we do something for other people. It's us being in our essence. And we are in this essence and we become intense and we lean into it because we can feel it so immensely and we can create it so beautifully and it can make us feel alive like nothing else. But the downside to it is it's not sustainable. If we create something, it's because we were inspired by something. And in order to be inspired, we have to connect with reality. We have to match our world to our internal one. It doesn't mean that they will necessarily meet, but we have to start making our reality better. We have to infuse this drug-like nature of us into reality one way or another. Because if we're not able to create a connection between those two, we will never feel like we're in the flow and things are just, moving smoothly. That's what we need to work on. The fourth reason why we as INFJs escape from reality as often as possible is because we feel misunderstood. When we're in our world, nobody will make us feel misunderstood. Everything makes sense. We're allowed to be ourselves. The moment we step out, it seems like people will reject us. People will abandon us. People will get triggered by us. People will get angry. And it's natural and human for us to then pull away. It's the safest thing that we can do at that moment. But we can do so much more. Because yes, we can live only in our mind and, wait for certain circumstances where we think now I might be myself and it will be accepted. But it never leads us to feeling complete. And I'm here to tell you, you can feel complete. You can feel like you're living your INFJ epic life. You are tapping into potential. And there's absolutely nobody in the world who can make you feel like you're not. I don't know how that looks to the outside. I don't care. I actually believe there's so many more people now who before saw me and now don't see me because I'm on my path and I'm creating that passion within me over and over again. And I see how this is a flow. And that's what we want to get to. And so escaping from reality is, again, a beautiful thing. It's who you are. It's your introverted world. But it's not everything that you are. And the interesting part, and I think what a lot of INFJs underestimate, is the fact that if you tap into reality in an authentic way, you're going to be misunderstood. You're going to be looked at as if you're weird, as if there's something wrong with you. But if you can stand that pain, then your reality will adapt. Your reality will change. And it will create this constant inspirational flow that allows you to tap into both. But again, it comes down to this point of, do I rather be liked for who I'm not, or do I rather want to be disliked for who I am? And always choose the latter. You can do this. And hopefully with everything that we do here, everything that I share with you, it gives you one more piece of motivation that this is the right step. Because once you choose yourself, once you start living that out, everything changes. The moment everything changed for me, the moment where I felt like life was happening outside of me, to the moment where I knew life was happening from me, was the moment I started taking action on my vision, when I started to tap into my potential, when I started to share who I am and how I see the world with the world. My point of view is valid, although it's not perfect. The way I see it now, it's worth being shared because I'm part of the conversation. I'm part of humanity. And therefore, my point of view matters. And there will be people who will be triggered by this, but maybe that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing for them. That's not for you to decide how your energy will impact other people when it comes from an authentic space. You will transform people, you will inspire people, and it takes a lot of strength out of you. But once you decide that this is the way forward, you're never going to want to go back because there's such an incredible sense of power. There's such an incredible sense of I'm on the right path that nothing ever will compare to that. And it's not going to feel good in the beginning. It will feel probably like, okay, it will be dark forever. But I can hope to make tomorrow a little bit lighter than it was yesterday. And you'll see how you give that power back to you. And before you know it, that darkness leads into a light you probably haven't experienced in your entire adult life. You've experienced this as a little child when you were allowed to be everything that you are before you were conditioned that there was something wrong with it. And, once you start tapping into this, you see that this makes sense. How will I ever give this up for anybody or anything? And so the fifth aspect of INFJs escaping reality is because staying in reality is hard. Not for other types, for us. INTJs have the same challenge. We have the same challenge. Being in reality, tapping into our SE, making moves in reality is hard for us. It's something that will require a lot of physical energy. That's why we have this as our first pillar in bootcamp as well, is because tapping into reality is not going to be easy. It will require additional energy. It will require commitment, but it is so worth it. It is so worth it because then you will create something that you've never created before. You don't know what will happen, but you know that you're doing the best you can with what you have. You have the visions, you have this immense understanding of reality. Do something with it. Put it out into the world and see how it will transform the world. But if you're not allowing your thoughts and your reality to impact the world, the real world, it's like you've never had those thoughts to begin with. You will experience it, but it will never give you the satisfaction of knowing that you're doing and you're tapping into your potential. It's a different kind of experience of life. And it's an experience we all can have. And it's that essence of what makes us feel truly alive. So if you escape reality as often as you possibly want, understand that there's beauty in it. That this is the place where all of those amazing things are being created. But if you're not putting it back into reality, so if you're not expressing yourself one way or another, there's no flow that can happen. You won't see how the world will react towards it. If you're willing to hollow yourself out and allow other people into your space and you're not expressing your essence constantly as often as you possibly can, then your internal world will never reach its full potential. And so if you look at it from the MBTI perspective, think of it like this. Escaping reality is our NITI world. You can go overboard. You can do the NITI loop. But in order for us to be balanced, in order to get everything out of life, We need to tap into our extroverted functions. We're never going to turn into an ENFJ. We're never going to be more extroverted than introverted. But when you know that although it's hard, you're doing everything you can because this is who you are and you want to experience life in this way, it's like this new world opens up to you. You have absolutely everything in your power to making this happen. And as I said, I hope, and this is my aim, that I'm one more aspect that will inspire you to take those steps. If you want more motivation, if you want more energy, if you want more insight and strategies that will help you on that journey, then join our INFJ Epic Life Bootcamp community. I'm really so thankful for the community that we've built, for all the momentum that we've already built and the trajectory of where we're going, that I can really proudly say this is something I recommend deeply. Join us, become part of the movement, and I promise you, you will be the one who creates your reality. It won't be my reality. It won't be somebody else's. You're creating the INFJ Epic Life on your terms. Everything you need to know in order to join, you can find the links in the description. Remember, you can join until tomorrow, May 11th, so before our live call. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.